Welcome in, welcome in. You're listening to Victor Formation, the college football show. There's no week off in this sport, in this line of work, in this business. Week 8, into the trenches. That's what you're listening to right now. And it felt like we were just here talking about how psychotic of a weekend week 7 was. And we turn around and we're right back here talking about week 8. And it has even more important games on the line, more implications, more conference title implications, playoff, all of it. Has all of it included. Starting now, we can start to see the finish line here. Coming up, we got five, 6 games left max for most teams. But we're going to start seeing the effects in full force of what those wins and losses do to the team's season. So we're going to get into week 8 here. Conference matchups, Big 10 games, Big 12, SEC. Honestly, the SEC is left out of that discussion because SEC is literally a bloodbath right now, and you can't predict the finish line yet. It's impossible for the SEC, at least. For Big 12, all the other power conferences, even we're down to the group of 5 teams even being a handful now. We can start to see who might be in the playoffs here, but regardless, I'm your host, Brandon, along here with my boy, Jakey M. If you didn't listen to the recap of week 7, Jakey M. M stands for marathon because he ran a half marathon. Good for him. But, so why don't we just dig in right now? Let's start digging. Jake.
Let's get into it, baby.
Have you seen that
Let's get into it. I don't think so.
The SpongeBob? Mr.
Oh, my.
Krabs.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I hate that so much.
So, breaking news. As always, start with breaking news. Good for some, bad for most, I'd say. He's here for the long run. He's here for the long haul. Now he's getting paid. Third highest paid coach in college football right now, or as of now. Kurt Cignetti. Indiana head coach was just extended through the 2033 season, signing an 8-year extension, $11.5 million a year, makes him the third highest paid coach in college football. That's a lot of money.
That's wild for Indiana. It's wild.
That's crazy. I've been listening to a lot of his interviews that he's had with a couple of the Indiana insiders and people like that, and he sits down. He's like, "I've done this twice already." He's like, "I came here. They told me that they're trying to get the football program up and running. We see volleyball, we see baseball and basketball, wrestling probably. I don't pay attention to wrestling, but Big Ten's usually pretty good in wrestling. But all those sports they're pretty good in. I'm assuming. Well, I know they are, but they're trying to get football up and running, and they made the right move with probably the most viral head coach in college football right now.
Yes, as of right now, for sure.
Yeah. And it shoots down all of the rumor or speculation of him leaving for a bigger job, aka Penn State, for now.
There's a lot of off season. You never know what can happen.
Yeah. I wonder how that'd work if he wanted to bail in the off season.
I don't know how coaches get out of contracts. I don't. It's one thing I have to do my research on. I don't know if any. I mean, he obviously had a contract at James Madison, and he got out of.
Yeah.
Money talks. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it does. So what if Indiana just this is pure hypothetical, but what if they just fall apart? He gets paid and doesn't care anymore. I'm not saying that's what it would come down to, but say they go 8-4 or something. What what do you do then?
It's called a buyout. Jimmy Franks had one, $48 million.
That's a quick turnaround. That's like a 4 or 5 month turnaround. Paying him.
It would have to be a couple year thing that he's not producing. But even if he's 8-4, Indiana is still pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, 8-4 Indiana, they're happy.
Yeah, traditionally.
Yeah. Now if he goes 12-0, makes the playoffs, get to the semifinals or even the finals, even wins it, and then he turns around and goes 8-4, then we gotta be like, all right, what happened there?
Right.
Regardless, good for Cignetti. That's an $8 million raise, annual raise. Woo!
I just saw in the last decade he went from 132,000 to whatever the contract is now.
102,
Annual 132
$132,000
to millions now in a
to
decade.
almost 12 million.
Yeah.
He's making what he he's making more money this year than he would in 10 years at that last place. That's wild.
He's making more money in almost more money in one game than he was his whole annual contract before 10 years ago.
That's wild. That's wild. Good for him, dude. Good for him.
That's
He
awesome.
deserved
That's
it,
awesome.
honestly.
He does.
So, week 8 into the trenches. Starts with a couple group of 5 matchups we've seen already. Starting Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we had Conference USA, American, and Sun Belt Conference matchups all week so far, and into Friday night, aka tonight. So, what's going on this Friday night? What's going on tonight? ACC Big Ten matchup. Pretty decent sized ones for 2 of our 4 teams that are competing there. So we got Louisville that goes to Miami, currently number 2. Miami's favored 13.5. A little rain headed that way to Florida. And then Big Ten, huge matchup for Nebraska. They're 5-1 right now. That could I'm just putting it out there. They're 5-1. Could they possibly take this back half of the season and make a run, get some momentum? 11-1 Nebraska. Something that we're maybe a touch too far from talking about right now, but something I want y'all to keep in the back of your head as we get into this back half later half of the season. Nebraska's 5-1. They're 3 points away from being undefeated, honestly.
Yes,
4
they are.
points. So pretty big matchup for Nebraska there. They go to Minnesota. Nebraska's favored by 7. Nebraska's 0-4 against the spread when facing Power 4 opponents. I know we just got done hyping up Nebraska, but
Ouch.
they're 0-4 against Power 4 opponents. They've allowed 12 sacks in the last 3 games. Far from powerhouse Nebraska offensive line we're used to seeing in the olden days, back when we weren't around, Jake. So, Saturday, a little different story. Not a little different story. We got decent-sized games Friday, but we got some big ones Saturday. 12 o'clock, Washington, 5-1, goes to Michigan, 4-2. Michigan's favored in this game, Jake. This isn't one of our This isn't one of our 5 games we're going to give y'all, but I do want to talk about this one because this one has some decent Big Ten implications involved. So what do we got for the spread?
We got 4.5. Michigan's favored. We got the over and under at 50.5, which it's basically 50% public bet. With the spread, Washington is holding 70% of the bets. A little interesting. The way that Washington played against Ohio State, I see Michigan winning this game. I really do. I don't know if they're going to win by more than 4.5, but just the athleticism of Ohio State really flustered Washington. I think the athleticism of Michigan will fluster Washington as well. I see Michigan winning it, but I don't know by how much.
Right. Michigan's in a weird spot right now. They're fundamentally in a weird spot. I heard Joel Klatt talking about this, how tackling's been kind of off. Their run game, which is what they're known for, has been kind of off. Like you said last week, they play that snake style gameplay where they just grab a hold of you, they get in front, and they grab a hold of you and just squeeze you dry, just suffocate you. And they're big, strong usually. The defensive line isn't generational like it was a couple years ago and then won the national championship.
Not quite, yeah.
But they're in a weird spot. I don't think they're a bad team. So I think Michigan's going to win this one. Washington's the only unranked 5-1 team between the Big Ten and the SEC right now.
And their losses against number 1.
Right. Only loss against number 1, and they're unranked as a Big Ten program. Yes, they did have a scare against Maryland a couple weeks ago, but every team's had its scare. We just saw, who was it? Ole Miss just beat Wazoo by 3. Ole Miss is a top 5 team. Washington State's like 2-3, 2-4 right now. But regardless, Devon Williams has been having a fantastic year. He did something last week that no one's done in 9 years. 500 total yards of offense for him alone. 400 passing, 100 plus rushing. Hasn't been done since Lamar Jackson when he won the Heisman in 2016. So he's having a fantastic year. Might be,
Pretty cool.
I think he's starting to work his way into the Heisman talks, honestly. Now, what you said, winning helps. Winning does help. There's no question about it. So it's a pretty big game for him and the Huskies there. We got Georgia Tech going at Duke. Duke's favored in this, Jake.
Yeah, that's not good.
What?
That is not good for Georgia Tech.
I saw this.
That's
I'm
the
like,
Vegas line.
something's wrong here.
That's the Vegas line of the week. We talked about that last week, and we saw what Utah did in that line, that crazy line. So if I'm betting, I'm taking Duke minus 1.5 without a doubt in my mind. I'm not touching it because I think Haynes King can really just light up a game and take control. He's got to be in the Heisman talks, just how well he's playing. So if I were betting, I'd go Duke, but I'm not touching it. No way.
I can't. I know we talked about hitting the Vegas odds of the week. I think we've hit 3 of the 4 so far. I think Florida and Texas was the only one I literally could not picture in my head of why that line was so weird. But this one, like, I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. I'm staying off of this one completely. No prediction on this. This is crazy. I saw this. I was like, something's wrong here. Something ain't right. Now, first game we're going to give y'all one of our top 5 games of the weekend. We have number 10 LSU going to number 17 Vanderbilt. Both 5-1. Both fantastic. I don't know if you call it fantastic losing, but pretty decent, pretty reputable losses. LSU lost to Ole Miss by a touchdown, and Vandy lost to Bama. That score was closer than it looked. Or that game was closer than the score looked. What do we got in the spread? Has it moved at all? I think Vandy was up last time I saw.
Vandy is favored by 2.5. So, which I completely understand. It's at Vandy. You know, you're getting 3 points ish, 2.5 to 3 points for home field advantage. They hold 59% of the public bet. Not something that's going to scare me a whole lot. LSU holds 66% of the money line. In this game, I think Pavia can cause some havoc offensively, which he has to a lot of teams. I truly don't, and I know LSU's defense is great, but I don't know if Vandy gets up or scores a decent amount if LSU can hang with them, because their offense has been absolutely atrocious.
100%.
So bad. So if Pavia can get the ball rolling a little bit, I think this game is easily Vandy's. And I'm going to take Vandy minus 2.5.
This game is Blake Baker in that LSU defense versus Pavia. I think that's what we're looking at here. How well can Pavia play against Baker? Baker's going to try and have something up his sleeve for him. They're going to have to get pressure on him, make him run. This one's tough. I'm like on the edge for both of these. Like, before I was like, oh, Vandy's going to win. Like, you know, I just feel it. I feel it. But I don't know. LSU's run game looked decent last week. Is that something we can lean on right now? No, because they're still 85th in the country on running the ball. Vandy rush D is 16th, allowing less than 100 yards per game.
Playing against Power 4 teams, the highest LSU has scored this year is 20 points.
That's bad. That's
17, 20, 19, and 20.
Imagine LSU fan, you're going into the season thinking you have Blake Baker, defense coordinator, and that offense from last year. Yes, the run game was kind of questionable going into the season, but you're thinking we're going to win the national championship. How do we not? Blake Baker's a defensive mastermind, and our offense looked great last year. We're winning the ship. And then the terminal weaknesses from last year completely flipped. Now you're struggling to even score.
Yes.
And your defense looks crazy. I've been back and forth on this game all week. Man, I can't even decide right now. I think I'm gonna go Vanderbilt. I think I'm gonna go Vanderbilt 2.5.
I would have faded me. That's all I gotta say.
I like it. I think if Pavia, he can dial up at least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We know LSU. They can't even score 3
Right.
touchdowns.
If they don't turn the ball over, they're going to be okay. Vandy.
Yep. So 12:45, we have number 14 Oklahoma going to South Carolina. October, is it upon us, Jake? I know Josh Pate likes to talk about Cocktober a lot. Did you see his episode Tuesday night? He was talking about Cocktober, and one of his fans asked Grok, is it the Elon Musk's AI or whatever? One of his fans asked Grok if Cocktober was a factual thing, and they said no, but Cockvember is. So the Gamecocks do better in November than they do in October. And
Huh.
he's like, that doesn't roll off the tongue. We can't
No.
use that.
No, it doesn't.
But so Cocktober ain't a thing. Oklahoma's favored 5.5. They're going to South Carolina, so it should be a touchdown, I'd say. 3:30, we have Texas A&M going to Arkansas. Texas A&M's favored by 7.5. That one's a little interesting too. Probably should be favored 9.5 for home field advantage, but possible look ahead game for Texas A&M. They have LSU next weekend. I don't think Elko is a look ahead coach. He
No,
just
I don't
doesn't come
either.
off as a look ahead coach.
I don't either.
Texas Tech goes to Arizona State. Big 12 matchup. Sam Levitt, it's still questionable. I don't think this game is close even with him in. Texas Tech's favored by 7.5. Utah ran the ball for 270 yards against Arizona State last week.
I think that
Cameron
game could be a
Jake,
little questionable if Lovett's playing. I'm not going to lie. I really do.
really?
Yeah, as much as Texas Tech is rolling, there's a chance.
What have you seen from Arizona State that gives you
I'm just
that feeling?
saying, there's a chance. This is their last hope.
What happens when you back a Sundale into a corner?
I don't want to know. I want to be as far away from that thing as possible if it's in the
Yeah.
corner.
All right. All right. Utah ran the ball for 270 yards against Arizona State last week. Cameron
Yeah, that's
Dickey,
wild.
Texas Tech's running back, did that last week on his own. Arizona State, figure out the rush D. Second game we're going to give y'all, number 5 Ole Miss goes to Sanford Stadium to face the number 9 Georgia Bulldogs. All time, Georgia leads this thing 33-13. Ole Miss with the most recent win. Ole Miss hasn't won in Athens in 29 years. That's a long time. That's a long time. Jake, you got the spread.
Yep. So we have Georgia being favored by 7.5. 57% of the bets are on Old Miss, so nothing really going to skew me a whole lot here. The only thing that is going to skew me is the referee's love for Georgia and Kirby Smart. So I'm going to take Georgia minus 7.5. Hopefully, I put some bad juju on them because they deserve every single loss for the rest of the season after that bullcrap that played out last week. That we
Yeah,
went into depth on, and I'm still not over it. So I'm putting the opposite of the Midas touch onto Georgia this week. They're going to not cover 7.5 and hopefully lose this game to a very, very talented and high-powered offense in Ole Miss.
I love it. I love it. He's using the Midas touch against his will. You know, trying to do for the better for America. He did what's right for the American people. Sacrificed himself. I love it. I love it. So Ole Miss's offense is rolling, as you just heard Jake say. They're 5th in yards per game, 20th in points per game, 7th in passing. But then you got Georgia, who's the refs. That's like they're the super fan of Georgia right now. They literally won them a game last week. They won them a game. They should be a 2-loss team right now. If Tennessee makes a field goal in Auburn, the refs use their vision to see a touchdown last week, they're a 2-loss team. They're barely in the top 25 right now.
They're
But
a three-loss team.
Bama?
No, yeah, I mean, they lost to Bama. They would have lost to Tennessee and Auburn.
Oh, yeah. They're a 3-loss team.
So
Made
they
them
really, in all honesty, could be 3-3 right now.
right. Very, very lucky. I think Kirby Smart is showing a little more emotion this year because he knows this group isn't as talented as his teams were in the past, but this team's got more fight in them, it seems like, and he's kind of like he's being a locker room coach this time around rather than a strategist and using his team's talent to the maximum. So Listen closely, Lane Kiffin. This one's for you. I need you to beat the absolute shit out of the Georgia Bulldogs this Saturday.
Yes.
Karma is coming for Georgia. Bad karma. Gosh, I genuinely I don't think I've ever hated Georgia this much in however long I've been a fan of this sport. Give me the over. Give me Ole Miss to cover and to win this game. Give
Wow.
me Ole Miss 7.5.
Wow.
Come on, putting the
Wow.
mortgage on it. I want blood,
Come
Lane
on,
Kiffin.
baby. Come on, baby.
Ah, give me. Come on, Kiffin. Come on, baby. I want this win. I want it. So let's move to the 7 o'clock games. 7 o'clock. We have Penn State at Iowa. Iowa's favored. Not that crazy if you've been keeping up with this stuff, but just looking at that and seeing Iowa favored over Penn State, kind of crazy.
Yeah. I don't even have anything to say about that one. Like that might be watching paint dry that whole game.
Yep, yep. Then we have 16 Missouri going to Auburn. Poor Auburn. Good karma's coming your all's way. I promise. I really hope. I really hope it is at least. Maybe Auburn wins this one. It's basically a pick 'em. I think Missouri's favored by 1.5, 2.5 maybe. Hopefully Auburn gets their get back from last week. Maybe some good karma's coming their way. Third game we're gonna give y'all 7:30. Be there. Number 20 USC goes to Notre Dame, currently ranked 13th, the highest ranked two-loss team we have. This spread is crazy. This
This is
this
the only. It tells you Vegas thinks that Notre Dame's gonna dog walk USC. This is what it's telling me. 9.5.
yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
63% of the public is on USC, according to covers.com.
How's it?
I
Can you tell which way it's moved?
Yeah, give me a sec.
Wild. Notre Dame's currently 50-37 all time with a 2-game win streak. As Jake's looking up this stuff.
As of 11:56 today, it was 7.5, and now it is dropped down to 9.5. So that that is not pretty for USC fans.
It's reverse line.
Yeah, that's not pretty for USC fans.
No. But USC currently most powerful offense in the country, arguably coming off a big win over Michigan, possibly one of the best wins in a long time for them.
USC is 0-2 against the spread on the road this year.
Ooh. So we're thinking like 20-point loss for USC?
Could be 10.
Double-digit loss for USC?
Yeah, I mean that's what it's looking like.
This game could very well have playoff implications on it too.
I just think Notre Dame's defense is they struggled against A&M, but Marcus Freeman is so good on that side of the ball. I think USC has a hard time traveling up there and getting it done at night. I I'm gonna go Notre Dame minus 9.5.
That Notre Dame, like, yeah, they're a two-loss team, but the two losses were the number 2 and number 4 team in the country by 4 points combined. They lost to Texas A&M by 1, and they lost to Miami by 3. We haven't seen a team come that close to beating Miami all year. I mean, yeah, we're 7 weeks in, but I don't think Notre Dame's far off what they were last year.
No, I don't either.
I I think a lot of people are discrediting them for having 2 losses this early, but we got to give them credit for scheduling 2 of the top 5 teams in the country in the first 4 weeks. First 3 weeks, I think. I think they had Texas, or they had Miami a week off. Then they had Texas A&M. Or no, they had a win in there somewhere. They were 1-2, I remember. But think about this: if USC wins this game, we could have 12-0 Ohio State, 12-0 Indiana, 11-1 USC, because USC is probably favored the rest of the year. And then you have 10-2 Oregon.
Right.
Or USC and Oregon face each other later in the year. That game could get out of hand. That could be the craziest game, the craziest matchup for both of those teams. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
they would need help from Ohio State and Indiana to lose.
right. Either of those teams. Do they get in though? Like, do you put USC over Oregon in the
I
playoff?
don't know the tiebreaker. It'll all be down to the tiebreaker. So
if USC wins, well, they're 11. If they're 10-2, Oregon's 10-2, and USC wins the tie or wins between that game, USC's in. Think
well, they'd be 11-1. Well,
if they
USC would be 11-1 if they went out.
right, say they lose to Notre Dame, and then they beat Oregon later in the season, both and Oregon wins out. They're
Are
both
we talking about college football playoff?
yeah. Do you think both those teams get in, or you think I don't know? That's
It'd
kind
be
of
hard to have four. Well, there were four Big Ten teams last year, so there would be four Big Ten teams this year too.
yeah.
Yeah, they would both get in.
It's good. It's good for the Big Ten.
Yeah, it is.
Moving on. Fourth game we're gonna give y'all 7:30 again. Number 11 Tennessee goes to Bryant Denny to face the number 6 Alabama Crimson Tide. Both are
That's,
5-1.
8 points is a lot.
It is. It's a lot.
That is a lot of points. Again, Tennessee is 0-1 on the road against the spread this year, and they're 2-3 in general. While Alabama's 4-1 against the spread. Uh, I think Alabama has been one of the more complete teams up there with Indiana and Ohio State and Miami this year. I don't think Tennessee has been a complete team. I think their offense has been great. Their defense has been a little shady at times. Alabama rolls in this game. Alabama wins by 10.
Huh. You heard it. You heard it from the man. Double-digit win for Bama.
Maybe 9.
9-point win for for Bama. That's all you need, right?
That's all you need. The over-under is 59.5, so it's a lot of points. I think a majority of the points are going to come from Bama here. It might be 40-20 power.
Dang. Big. Going big with the prediction here. Tennessee hasn't won in Bryant Denny in Saban Stadium in 22 years.
That ain't happening this weekend, I'll tell you that right now.
I don't think so.
No.
But something we got to keep in mind is this is the 4th straight ranked matchup for Alabama. How banged up are they? The depth chart really shows it. You have Jam Miller, who's in concussion protocol right now. We don't even know if he's going to start. That's their only running back that can run the ball. And then Ryan Williams had 1 target last week, didn't have a catch. He's banged up. It's starting to wear on the physical side of things for Bama. Do I think they're complete? Yes. Do I think Ty Simpson's a Heisman contender? Do I think he's playing great? Yeah. Here's what I think could keep Tennessee in this game is if it goes their way and they have a shootout with Alabama. Because Tennessee is currently 2nd in points per game. That's the only way Tennessee gets their way is if it's a shootout, I think. Tennessee's defense is garbage, first off. Swiss cheese. It's if
Yes.
Tennessee can keep up with Alabama and Ty Simpson being able to spin it. I'm going to go Bama winning by double digits as well, Jake. I like that.
You got to stay away from this train that I'm on, man. You've been picking a lot of the same teams, and we've been cold.
Hey, I'm 21. I'm 21 and 19 right now. I'm all right.
I'm not.
I think you're what? 14 and
A lot.
14 and 19? Yeah.
More than that.
No. Cuz you missed a week.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get all 5. I'll be 19 and 19 this week.
There you go. All it takes is 1 week.
Yeah. If you haven't been on the train, don't jump on now, baby, because I'm not waiting for you.
Last game we're going to give y'all is the Holy War. It's been a classic game of the season every season since like 1948 or something. It's been a crazy ride for these two teams. This is the first time these two teams have faced each other ranked since 2009. And both these teams usually end
That's
up
wild.
ranked at some point during the season. We see BYU in the top 25 and we see Utah in the top.
We really do. Almost every year.
It's crazy that the last time we saw these two teams play when they were ranked was 16 years ago. It's unreal. So, Holy War. Number 23 Utah goes to number 15 BYU. BYU is currently undefeated. BYU on a 2-game win streak against Utah. This one has major playoff and conference championship implications on it. We have an almost identical matchup between these two on paper. You know, the game isn't played on paper, but we're 7 weeks in. We can kind of start going off stats to reflect what we see on the field. Yards per game, Utah 24, BYU 29. Passing yards, Utah 88, BYU 90. Both trash in passing. Rushing, Utah's top 10. BYU's top 10. Points per game, they're both top 20. Defense, total defense, they're both top 20. Passing defense, they're both top 15. What's the spread here, Jake? Because on
Spreads,
paper, it's a pick 'em.
it's pretty close. Spread is Utah -3, which is kind of interesting in my opinion, especially going to BYU. So really on a neutral field, you're looking at a 6-point favorite, and at home, you're looking at a 9-point favorite. I like Utah on this after what we saw from them last week. They're getting their footing. They have a fantastic head coach, just one of the best in the league for a long, long time. He's got these boys settled in. They're 3-0 against the spread on the road, and they're 5-1 this year against the spread. I'm taking the Utes, and Devin Dampier is going to lead them to at least a 3-point victory because I'm going 5 for 5 this week.
Attaboy. I love it. I love the confidence. See, we talked about Utah getting waxed by Texas Tech. The one thing Utah does that a lot of other teams don't do is play man as much as they do. I mean, the only other team I can think of that plays man, if that, as much as them or more, is Washington. And I think that's why Texas Tech was able to keep up with them or match up so well against Utah's defensive backs, was because Texas Tech, their wide receiver room, is very talented, and they were able to play man. They were able to match up good one-on-one. Is BYU the same as Texas Tech in their wide receiver room being talented? I don't think so. I haven't watched a lot of BYU football this year, if any. Maybe a couple, maybe like half a game. But if BYU can bring the game plan for Devin Dampier, I know he's got some good footwork. He can run the ball. He's got like 400 yards rushing. We don't see that often from quarterbacks. But if not, he's gonna be able to do what he wants. And I think Utah gets this done. 3.5 or 3. I had it 3.5 on here, but you said 3, right? Give me the Utes 3. I like it. I'm going with Jake here. Well, I think we differed on one game. Which game was that? Ole Miss Georgia, because you took one for the team.
Yep.
So let's talk about the scenario with the Big 12 here. Texas Tech, currently our front runner, probably going to make the Big 12 championship. I'm going to put this in perspective for y'all. BYU, so Texas Tech and BYU play later in the year. Say BYU beats Utah. No, say Utah beats BYU. And both those teams went out the rest of the year. They'd both be 11-1. BYU would win out, even against Texas Tech, and Utah wins out 11-1, with their only loss being Texas Tech. Then you have Texas Tech 11-1 being their only loss to BYU. So we have 3 11-1 teams in the Big 12. Who do you put in the Big 12 championship? Because you have a triangle. You have the triangle of doom.
There's got to be a tiebreaker.
So you put
there's a statistical tiebreaker somewhere along the lines in the Big 12 handbook.
Right, yeah.
It goes head to head, obviously, and then it'll go to, point differential or points allowed or something like that.
Yeah. That'd be crazy, seeing that come down to point differential.
Yeah, and I mean, that's their ticket to, most likely their ticket to the college football playoff, too. Because it's going to be hard to have, 2 Big 12 teams in there with the ACC, the Big 10, the SEC, and then a non-Power 5. So, I mean, the SEC and Big 10 can take up 8 spots alone. You add in 2 from the ACC, there's 12. You add in 1 from the Big 12 and 1 from the non-Power 5 or non-Power 4, and there you go. That's 12 right there. So, it's tough. And I would not want to be on that committee if we have that scenario play down, saying, well, there's 3 teams that are 11-1, all in the Big 12, and we're not going to let one of them in. That's where it would be tricky for the Big 10 and the SEC. You might only get 3 instead of 4.
Yeah, right. That's good.
It's just a rabbit hole that you can go down and talk about scenarios all night long.
Right. Yeah. And we saw it last year. SMU, they got punished for playing in the Big 12 championship. They lost and got booted entirely. 11-2 SMU.
Didn't they play Penn State? Yeah, they played at Penn State.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was that was the talk. It was South Carolina or them.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
You're right. So I think the talk was they should get booted, but they couldn't argue that they get punished for playing in your championship game.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, if you lose in your championship game, it shouldn't penalize because the other teams just don't have the capability of losing because they're not playing for it. So I agree with
Right.
that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, 100%. It's it's a crazy scenario. And on top of
It
those
is.
three teams, you could have 11-1 Cincinnati
Yeah.
as well. You couldn't have BYU and Cincinnati, but because those teams face later on in the year, but you could have 11-1 Cincinnati instead of BYU. And their only loss being in week 1 of the season against Nebraska. It's
Well, but that doesn't go into their conference play, the Big 12.
right.
So if Cincinnati wins out, they're automatically in.
Yeah. Which would be
Um,
crazy.
it would. Yeah.
Imagine Texas Tech losing and Cincinnati being your Big 12 regular season champion because they went undefeated in the Big 12. I mean, it wouldn't be regular season because you have the championship, but you know what I'm saying? They're undefeated in the Big 12. The scenarios are crazy right now in the Big 12, which it's usually like this, but teams are 8-4, 9-3 battling for that second spot, not all 10-2 or all 11-1 undefeated. It's and maybe BYU wins tonight and they can go on the rest of the season, beat Cincinnati, and be 12-0, and then we don't have to get into the dirty things here.
Right.
Just something that crossed my mind because something like this happens every year, whether it's the championship games in the conference or the playoffs that we've seen. Someone gets screwed. It just depends on
Oh,
who.
yeah. Someone's always going to get the shaft.
Right. So I think that's it. Our 5 games.
Love it.
We got LSU at Vanderbilt. We got Ole Miss at Georgia, USC at Notre Dame, Tennessee at Alabama, and the Holy War. 5 fantastic games for y'all to
Great
watch.
slate. Another great
Probably,
slate.
yeah, excellent. It doesn't stop. This game, this business is like all go. When it's college football time, it's go time. It gets crazy. So I think that about does it. Do we have any fun facts? No, I don't think
Nope.
so.
No fun facts this week.
I have one fun fact, and it's off the top of my head. I saw it earlier on TikTok from these people I follow. There's 3. We talked about one of them, but there's 3. There's 3 colleges that were formed before their state was an official state. I think we had Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yes.
Arizona and Utah are the only 2 other schools that were
Very
formed
nice.
before Arizona and Utah were officially state. Saw
That's
that on
cool.
TikTok earlier. So there's your quick little fun fact. We're gonna get out of here. We got good games tomorrow night, good games Saturday, and we'll see y'all Monday or Tuesday morning for the recap. Can't wait.
Love it. See you guys then. Have a great weekend.
Yep. Peace out.